Hello, everyone. Welcome back to DreamWave English. I'm Sophia, your host for today. Do you ever listen to Americans speak and wonder, how do they sound so relaxed and confident all the time? Maybe you've studied English for years, but when you try to speak, it still feels a bit slow or unnatural. Don't worry, you're not alone. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to sound natural, confident, and fluent in real American English. Step by step, you'll discover the rhythm, tone, and habits that make English flow smoothly. First, I want you to remember something important. You don't need a perfect accent to sound natural. American English isn't about sounding like someone else. It's about connection over perfection. It's about making your words feel easy and real. Let's start with something simple: greetings. Imagine walking into a coffee shop in New York or Los Angeles. The barista smiles and says, "Hey, how's it going?" Now, if you learned English from textbooks, you might answer, "It's going well, thank you. How are you?" That's correct, but it doesn't sound natural in daily life. Most Americans would just say, "Good, how about you?" Or even, "Pretty good, you." Notice how short that is. It's light, friendly, and relaxed. That's the American rhythm, quick and easy. It's not about saying perfect sentences. It's about keeping the flow natural. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. "Hey, how's it going?" "Good, how about you?" Again, a little faster. "Hey, how's it going?" "Good, how about you?" See how much more natural that feels? You're not forcing the words. You're just letting them flow. That's how Americans sound so casual when they speak. In American English, greetings change depending on the situation. For example, you can say, "Hey" to a friend, "Hi" to someone new, and "What's up" to someone close. Now, here's something funny. "What's up" doesn't really mean, "Tell me what's happening." It's just another way to say hello. And the answer? Very simple. You can say, "Not much," or "Just chilling," or even repeat it back. "Hey, what's up?" Let's try it. I'll say, "What's up?" You say, "Not much." You? One more time. "What's up?" "Just hanging out." Perfect. That's the friendly, relaxed tone Americans love to use. Now, many learners think Americans speak too fast, but the secret isn't speed, it's rhythm. American English has a musical flow because speakers connect words together. For example, "I am going to" becomes "I'm gonna." "Do you want to" becomes "Do you wanna." "What are you doing" becomes "Whatcha doing." These aren't slang, they're just natural spoken English. Let's practice together. Say, "I'm going to grab some coffee." Now faster. "I'm gonna grab some coffee." Great! You see? It's not lazy speaking. It's how sounds connect naturally. Try this next one. "Do you want to watch a movie?" Now American style. "Do you want to watch a movie?" Again, smooth and light. "Do you want to watch a movie?" Excellent. That's how Americans keep their sentences soft and connected. The idea isn't to pronounce every word clearly, it's to link them smoothly. So your speech sounds effortless. Here's another example. "What are you thinking about?" Now, say it the American way. "Whatcha thinking about?" Can you feel how relaxed it sounds? That's exactly what you want, Don't worry if it feels strange at first. Like any new skill, it becomes natural with practice. The best way to train your mouth and ear is to listen and repeat. Listen to how Americans talk in movies or podcasts, then mimic the same tone and rhythm. Don't try to sound perfect, just sound real. Now, let's talk about emotion. In American English, how you say something is just as important as what you say. Americans use tone to express feeling. For example, when they say, "That's awesome," they're showing excitement. When they say, "Really?" with a curious tone, it sounds friendly and interested. Try this mini exercise with me. I say, "I got the job." You say with energy, "That's awesome." I say, "I lost my wallet." You say with empathy, "Oh no, really?" I say, "It's raining again." You say, with a little sigh, "Ugh, seriously?" See how much feeling that adds? Your words come alive when you use emotion. That's what makes conversation sound real and not robotic. Here's another tip. In American culture, people love short, friendly exchanges. Small talk doesn't have to be long or complicated. For example, "How's your day?" "Good, just busy." "Yeah, same here." And that's it. Short, easy, warm. Let's practice that rhythm again. "How's work?" "Pretty good." "How was your weekend?" "Not bad." "What are you up to?" "Just studying." Perfect. That's how Americans keep things flowing naturally. And remember, fluency isn't about speed, it's about comfort. You don't need to rush your words, you just need to sound at ease. Imagine you're talking to a friend, not taking a test. When you relax, your English becomes smoother automatically. Now, one more secret. Americans often use small filler words like "you know," like, or "I mean." For example, "It was like super busy today," or "You know, I was thinking about calling her." These little words don't really change the meaning, they just make your speech sound casual and natural. Just remember not to use them too much. A few here and there are perfect. Let's finish this part with a short, natural conversation. I'll say both sides. You can repeat after me. "Hey, you free later?" "Yeah, what's up?" "Wanna grab dinner?" "Sure, sounds good." That's it. Simple, smooth, friendly. Take a deep breath. You just finished your first step towards sounding more like a native speaker, learning the rhythm of connection. In the next part, we'll explore how Americans use small expressions and little sounds that make their speech feel natural and confident in every situation. Ready? Let's keep going in part 2. All right, now let's keep building your fluency. In this part, we'll focus on the little words and sounds that make American English sound so natural, the ones most textbooks never teach. These small expressions are like the secret glue that holds conversations together. They help you sound relaxed, friendly, and confident when you speak. Let's start with a simple one. Yeah. It's not yes. It's yeah. Americans say yeah far more often because it sounds easy and natural. It's friendly, soft, and casual. For example, "Yeah, sure." "Yeah, I know." You can even stretch it depending on your mood. If you're uncertain, you might say, "Yeah." If you're excited, you might say, yeah. Try it with me. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, totally. Feel how your voice drops a little at the end? That's the relaxed American rhythm. Now, let's move to two of the most common sounds in American English. Uh-huh and uh. These sounds mean yes and no, but they're not written words, they live in spoken English. Uh-huh means yes. Means no. Try them out. Uh-huh. Yes. Ooh-hoo. No. Good. Notice how they sound natural and quick. Americans use uh-huh to show they're listening or agreeing. For example, I went to the store and it was packed. B. Uh-huh. A. Then I saw my old teacher there. B. Oh, really? That's how Americans show engagement in conversation with short reactions instead of long sentences. Let's practice some reaction words together. Repeat after me. Oh, really? No way. Seriously? That's crazy. Wow. That's awesome. I know, right? Great job. Each of these short expressions adds emotion to your English. Americans use them all the time to keep conversations alive and expressive. Let's do a quick reaction exercise. I'll say a short story, and you give a natural American-style reaction. I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours this morning. You say, oh no, seriously? My dog ate my homework. You say, no way. I got free tickets to a concert tonight. You say, that's awesome. Perfect. That's how you make your English sound lively and connected. Now let's talk about softeners, small words that make your sentences sound polite and friendly. Americans often use phrases like kind of, sort of, a bit, or maybe to make their speech sound gentle. For example, instead of you're wrong, say I think you might be kind of mistaken. Instead of that's wrong, say I think that might be a little off. Instead of I don't like it, say I'm not really a fan of it. See how soft and polite that sounds? It doesn't change the meaning, it changes the feeling. It shows you're being kind and respectful. Let's practice softening sentences together. You're late. You're kind of late. That's wrong. I think that might be a little off. I don't like it. I'm not really into it. Beautiful. That's exactly how Americans make their English sound friendly, even when they're being direct. Now, another feature of spoken American English is filler words like you know and I mean. They don't carry meaning, but they help you sound natural and give you a second to think. For example, it was, kind of weird. Or, I mean, it's not that bad. Try them. I mean, I was going to call you, but I got busy. It was, a bit awkward. When you use them lightly, not too often, they make your English sound smooth, like real conversation. Think of them as seasoning in food. A little adds flavor. Too much ruins the dish. Now let's play with tone. The way you say something can change the whole meaning. Let's practice with one word. Really. Say it 3 different ways. Excited. Really? Bored. Really? Sarcastic. Really? Hear how one word can mean completely different things. That's why intonation, the rise and fall of your voice, is so important in American English. Americans also love short, positive expressions that keep the energy friendly and bright. You'll hear things like, "No worries," "You got it," "Totally," "Awesome," "Cool," "For sure," "Sounds good." Each one means something slightly different, but all of them are relaxed and positive. For example, "No worries," "It's okay," "Don't stress," "You got it," "Sure, I'll do it," "Totally," "Yes, absolutely," "Sounds good," "That works for me," "Cool," "Okay," or "Nice." Let's practice. I'll say a sentence, and you respond like an American. "Hey, thanks for helping me out today." You say, "No worries. Can you send me the file later?" You got it. "Do you want to grab dinner after class?" Sounds good. "Did you like the movie?" "Yeah, it was cool." Perfect. "You're doing great." That's exactly how Americans keep conversations light and warm. Now, let's talk about contractions. In American English, people almost never say, "I am," "You are," or "They are" in full. Instead, they say, "I'm," "You're," "They're." Let's practice a few. I am happy. I'm happy. You are right. You're right. They are coming. They're coming. He will go. He'll go. She would like to help. She'd like to help. It is fine. It's fine. I would have gone. I'd have gone. Or even, I would have gone. Contractions make your speech sound faster and more natural. Listen to the difference. I am not sure. I'm not sure. The second one flows more smoothly, right? Now let's do a quick practice scene together. Imagine you meet a friend downtown. "Hey, long time no see." "Yeah, it's been forever. How have you been?" "Pretty good, just busy with work." "You?" "Same here. Just trying to survive Monday." Haha, I know that feeling. That's what a real American conversation sounds like. Short, friendly, and rhythmic. No long, complicated answers, just flow. And here's a tip you can use right away. Practice shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating immediately after them, copying their tone and rhythm. You can do this with movies, YouTube videos, or podcasts. It's one of the best ways to train your ear and your mouth together. Even 5 minutes of shadowing a day will improve your fluency fast. Choose a short phrase like, "Sounds good," or "You got it," and use it in your daily life. The more you use it, the more natural it becomes. Take a deep breath. You've just learned how to use reaction words, softeners, fillers, contractions, and tone, all the building blocks of real American conversation. In Part 3, we'll explore how Americans use small talk and storytelling to build friendly connections in everyday life at work, in cafes, or just chatting with strangers. Ready? Let's continue in Part 3. Now that you've learned how to sound more relaxed and natural, it's time to take things one step further. In this part, we'll explore one of the most important skills in American conversation, small talk, and later, storytelling. A lot of English learners think small talk is boring or meaningless, but in American culture, small talk is the bridge that connects people. It's how you start a friendly exchange, build trust, and make others feel comfortable before diving into deeper topics. It's not about what you say, it's about how you make people feel. Let's imagine a simple moment. You're standing in line at a cafe. The person next to you smiles and says, "This line is always long, huh?" That's small talk. It's light, friendly, and easy. You don't need to answer with something deep like, "Yes." It reflects the inefficiency of modern life. You just need something simple and warm like, "Yeah, every morning it's the same." Or, "Totally. I just need my coffee first." That's it. That's all small talk needs to be quick, friendly, and real. Let's practice a few examples together. I'll say the first line, and you respond naturally. "This weather's crazy today, isn't it?" You might say, "Yeah, can't decide if it wants to be summer or winter. Traffic was awful this morning." You could say, "Tell me about it. I love your shoes." You say, "Thanks. Got them on sale." Perfect. You see how every answer is short but still full of personality. That's how Americans do small talk easy and natural. You'll hear small talk everywhere at work, in elevators, in grocery stores, at the gym, even at school. It's a way to make social situations comfortable and friendly. Silence isn't bad, but a little small talk shows confidence and openness. And here's the secret: you don't have to be funny or clever, just genuine and kind. People remember warmth more than words. Now, one trick Americans use to keep small talk flowing is asking follow-up questions. Instead of just answering, they show curiosity and keep the rhythm going. For example, "Ah, I went hiking last weekend." B, "Oh nice, where did you go?" Or A, "I just got a new job." B, "That's amazing. What do you do?" Or A, "I watched that new movie last night." B, "Oh yeah? How was it?" See how that works? It's not about knowing a lot of vocabulary, it's about showing interest. Let's try a mini practice. I'll give you a statement, and you think of a follow-up question in your head or out loud. "I just got a new job." You? "That's awesome. What kind of job?" "I'm planning a trip next month." You? "Oh, where to?" "I tried cooking a new recipe yesterday." You? "Nice. How did it turn out?" Excellent. That's exactly how you keep a conversation alive with curiosity. Now let's move into storytelling, one of the most charming parts of American conversation. Americans love to tell small, personal stories, something funny that happened at work, a strange encounter at the grocery store, or an embarrassing but harmless mistake. These short stories make conversations more interesting and memorable. When you tell a story, think of 3 simple parts. What happened? What you felt? What you learned or found funny about it? For example, "So, I was at the store yesterday, and this guy accidentally grabbed my cart instead of his. I didn't realize until I got to the checkout and saw 10 cans of cat food. I don't even have a cat." We both laughed, and it totally made my day. It's not a big story, but it's relatable, and it makes people smile. Now it's your turn. Think of something small that happened to you recently, maybe at work, at school, or while traveling. Try to describe it the same way you would to a friend. Keep it short, warm, and real. Remember, the goal isn't to impress, it's to connect. Here's another secret. Americans love using small connectors in their stories. like, you know, guess what? So, anyway, or, and then. These little expressions make your story sound natural and flowing instead of robotic. Let's practice that rhythm together. Repeat after me. So, guess what happened yesterday? You won't believe what I saw today. The next thing I knew, I was running in the rain. So anyway, that was my morning. Perfect. You sound lively and natural. Now, when Americans tell stories, they don't just talk, they invite the listener to react. They'll say things like, "Have you ever done that? You know what I mean? Can you imagine?" These questions make the conversation interactive. Let's see an example. A. So, I went skydiving last weekend. Can you believe it? I was terrified, but it was amazing. B. Wow. Really? I could never do that. A. Have you ever done something crazy like that? You see how it invites the other person to respond? That's how Americans turn small talk into real conversation by making it two-way. Now, let's talk about transitions. How do Americans move smoothly from one topic to another? They use small linking phrases like, by the way, speaking of, that reminds me. Oh, before I forget. These transitions make your speech flow naturally. Let's practice them. By the way, did you hear about the new cafe downtown? Speaking of travel, have you ever been to California? That reminds me, I still need to pack for my trip. Oh, before I forget, happy birthday. See how these short phrases keep your conversation moving without sounding awkward or abrupt? That's real-life English flow. Now, one last point for this section, emotional tone. Americans don't just use words to connect. They use emotion. Even short replies can carry warmth, understanding, or empathy. Let's practice a few together. I'll say a situation and you respond naturally. My flight got delayed again. Ugh, that's the worst. I finally finished my project. Nice, congrats. I didn't get much sleep last night. Oh no, I feel you. I'm going to the beach this weekend. That sounds amazing. Perfect. You're learning not only how to speak English, but how to live in it with tone, emotion, and connection. And before we end this part, here's something very important to remember. You don't have to speak fast to sound fluent. True fluency is rhythm, not speed. It's better to speak slowly but naturally than to rush your words and sound stiff. Every time you practice, focus on sounding comfortable and friendly. Imagine you're chatting with someone you like, not taking a test. You're doing amazing so far. You've learned how Americans use small talk, storytelling, transitions, and emotion to make their conversations sound effortless. In Part 4, we'll go deeper. You'll learn how Americans express opinions, agree or disagree politely, and keep conversations positive, even when they don't share the same view. Ready? Let's move forward to Part 4. Now that you know how to build friendly conversations through small talk and storytelling, it's time to learn another powerful skill: how to express your opinions clearly and politely in American English. Americans value honesty, but they also value kindness. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. You can completely disagree with someone and still sound friendly and respectful. This is what makes conversations in English feel natural and confident, not confrontational. Let's start with polite disagreement. Instead of saying directly, "You're wrong," an American might say, "I'm not sure I totally agree. I see what you mean, but I think there's another way to look at it. That's interesting, but I have a slightly different opinion." Notice how gentle those phrases sound. They show that you're listening and that you respect the other person's view. Let's practice together. Repeat after me slowly. I see what you mean, but I think there's another way to look at it. I'm not sure I totally agree, but that's interesting. That's a good point. I just see it a little differently. Excellent. You sound thoughtful and polite. Now, when you agree with someone, Americans often express it with energy. Instead of just saying, "Yes," they might say, "Exactly, totally, yeah, for sure, absolutely." These small words add warmth and enthusiasm. Let's practice that too. A. I think learning English should be fun. U. Absolutely. A. Coffee is life. U. Exactly. A. People should take more breaks. U. For sure. A. I love sunny weather. U. Same here. Perfect. You sound natural and friendly. Now, let's look at how to keep disagreement positive. Americans often use humor or soft language to make the conversation comfortable. For example, if someone says, "I think pineapple on pizza is the best," you could respond, I'm not sure I'd go that far, but hey, to each their own." That simple phrase, "to each their own," means everyone has their own preferences. It keeps things light. Let's try a few examples. I don't think that's true. I'm not sure that's totally true. I disagree. I kind of see it differently. You're wrong. I think it might be a little different. I don't like that. It's not really my thing. See how friendly that sounds? You're expressing your opinion clearly, but you're not making the other person uncomfortable. That's how Americans keep their tone balanced and positive. Here's another small but powerful trick. Americans often use maybe and probably to make their opinions sound open, not absolute. For example, maybe it's just me, but I think mornings are the best time to study. It's probably not for everyone, but I love working from home. Adding maybe or probably makes you sound thoughtful, not pushy. Let's practice that rhythm. Maybe it's just me, but I love quiet weekends. It's probably not for everyone, but I enjoy staying in. Good. Now let's use what you've learned in a short, natural conversation. A. Do you prefer coffee or tea? You? Probably coffee. It just wakes me up better. A. Do you think social media is good or bad? You? Maybe it depends. It's great for connection, but it can be kind of distracting too. A. Is it better to live in a big city or a small town? You? I guess it depends on your lifestyle. I love the energy of cities, but small towns are peaceful. Excellent. Each answer sounds confident yet flexible, exactly how Americans speak in real conversations. Now, let's talk about humor. Americans often use humor to make disagreement or serious topics feel lighter. It doesn't mean making jokes all the time. It's about using a playful tone to keep the conversation positive. For example, I guess we'll have to agree to disagree. Unless you buy me pizza, then I'll agree with anything. It's light, friendly, and it keeps both people smiling. Now, What if you want to change the topic politely? Americans rarely do it suddenly. They use smooth transitions like, anyway, let's change the subject. On a lighter note, let's practice those. Anyway, how was your weekend? Let's change the subject, this is getting too serious. On a lighter note, have you seen that new show? These short phrases make you sound emotionally intelligent, like someone who knows how to keep a conversation flowing without tension. Now, here's another subtle but very natural skill: active listening. When Americans listen, they don't just stay silent. They use short reactions to show they're paying attention, things like, "Oh, right. Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, wow. Let's practice that rhythm together." So I was driving home and a deer jumped in front of my car. Oh, wow. Really? Yeah, it scared me so much. Right. That's crazy. Perfect. That's what makes conversations sound alive. Those little reactions are like verbal body language. They show you care about what the other person is saying. Now let's talk about empathy. In American culture, empathy, showing understanding, is a huge part of good communication. When someone shares a feeling, Americans often respond with short phrases like, "I get it. I know what you mean. That makes sense. I totally understand." For example, I've been feeling so tired lately. Yeah, I get it. My boss is really demanding. I know what you mean. I'm nervous about the test. That makes sense. Everyone gets that way. These small reactions show connection and understanding. Now, let's combine everything: opinions, empathy, and rhythm into one practice scene. Friend, I prefer traveling alone. It's more peaceful. Yeah, I get that. I like traveling with friends, but solo trips sound relaxing too. Friend, totally. You can do whatever you want. Exactly, no schedules, no waiting for anyone. Friend, still, it can get lonely sometimes. Yeah, probably. I guess it depends on your mood. That's how a real American-style conversation sounds: open, friendly, thoughtful, and natural. Before we wrap up this part, let's talk about confidence. Americans often sound confident not because their grammar is perfect, but because their energy is strong. They use simple words with clarity and belief. Try this short affirmation with me. I can express myself clearly. I can speak with confidence. I can connect through English. Say those lines out loud. Feel the energy in your voice. Confidence isn't about speaking like a native. It's about believing in yourself. You've just learned how to express opinions, agree or disagree politely, and listen actively, all key parts of sounding natural and confident. In Part 5, we'll take this even further. You'll learn how Americans talk in real-life settings at work, at cafes, with friends, and even in those slightly awkward moments everyone experiences. Ready? Let's continue in Part 5. Now that you've learned how to share your opinions politely and keep conversations natural, it's time to put everything into real-life situations. In this part, we'll explore how Americans actually speak in everyday places: at a coffee shop, at work, with friends, and even during those slightly awkward moments that everyone faces. Let's start with one of the most classic American settings, the coffee shop. Imagine walking into a cozy cafe in Los Angeles or New York. The barista greets you with a big smile and says, "Hey there, what can I get started for you today?" Notice the tone: cheerful, casual, and warm. It's friendly but not too formal. You could respond with something like, "Hey, can I get a medium latte, please?" Or, "Hi, can I get an iced coffee with oat milk?" You might notice that Americans often say, "Can I get?" instead of "May I have?" Both are polite, but "can I get?" sounds more natural and conversational. Then the barista might ask, "For here or to go?" You'd say, "To go, please." They might reply, "No problem. It'll be ready in a minute." You answer, "Thanks so much." They smile and say, "You got it," or "Have a good one." You finish with, "Thanks, you too." Let's practice this quick exchange together. Repeat after me. "Hey there, what can I get started for you? Can I get a medium latte, please? For here or to go?" To go, please. No problem. It'll be ready in a minute. Thanks so much. You got it. Have a good one. Thanks, you too. That short interaction is what real daily English sounds like: light, friendly, and full of connection. Now let's move to a more professional situation, the workplace. At work, Americans still sound friendly, but they're a little more polite. You'll often hear expressions like, "Hey, do you have a second? Could you help me with this real quick? When you get a chance, can you check this for me?" These phrases make requests sound softer and respectful. Instead of saying, "Send me that report," Americans would say, "Hey, when you get a chance, could you send me that report?" It means the same thing, but it feels much nicer. Let's practice a few together. "Hey, do you have a minute? Could you give me a hand with this? When you get a chance, can you check this for me? Thanks. I really appreciate it." Notice how every line feels polite but relaxed, not robotic or overly formal. That's the American workplace tone. Professional yet warm. When giving your opinion at work, Americans also prefer soft, open phrases like, "I feel like," "I think," "maybe," or "What if we tried?" For example, instead of "We should do this," try, "What if we tried doing it this way?" Or, "I feel like this option might work better." These small adjustments invite discussion instead of sounding like orders. Now, let's move to a casual hangout, talking with friends after work or school. The tone becomes much more relaxed. You might hear, "What's up? How's it going? Man, I'm so ready for the weekend." You can reply with short, friendly answers like, "Not much. Same here. Tell me about it." Let's practice a few quick lines. Hey, long week, huh? You, "Yeah, totally. I'm exhausted." You doing anything fun this weekend? You, "Maybe just chilling at home." I need like 5 more coffees to survive today." You, "Right? Same." You see how quick and simple those lines are? That's exactly how Americans talk when they're comfortable with friends: light, fast, and full of connection. Now let's talk about a situation everyone experiences: awkward moments. Maybe you forget someone's name, or there's an uncomfortable silence. Don't worry, Americans handle those moments with humor and easy phrases. If you forget a name, you can laugh softly and say, "I'm so sorry, remind me of your name again?" That's perfectly polite and honest. If there's a long silence, you can restart the flow by saying, "Anyway, so how's everything going?" Or, "By the way, did you see that new movie?" These small resets keep the conversation natural and relaxed. Now, let's explore another everyday part of American communication: compliments. Americans love giving and receiving small compliments. It's part of the culture to express positivity. Someone might say, "I love your jacket. Your presentation was great." Or, "You did awesome today." The polite, natural response is short and warm. "Thanks," or "Thanks, I really appreciate it." Let's practice a few. A. "Hey, great job on that project." You. "Thanks, I really appreciate it." Ah, "I love your new haircut." You. "Thanks, that's so nice of you." A. "You're really good at explaining things." You. "Thanks, that means a lot." See how light and friendly that feels? Compliments in American English are simple, sincere, and quick. Now imagine you're meeting someone new at a social event. Americans often use easy openers like, "So, what do you do?" "Where are you from originally?" "How do you know everyone here?" They might sound simple, but they're the heart of American small talk. They help you connect without pressure. Let's try a short conversation together. A. "So what do you do?" You. "I'm an English learner. I've been studying for a while." A. "Oh, nice. Where are you from originally?" You. "I'm from your country, but I love learning about American culture." A. "That's awesome. How long have you been here?" You. "Just a few months, but I'm really enjoying it." Perfect. That's how you build a friendly, comfortable exchange. Now here's a powerful tip. Add small details when you reply. Instead of just saying "me too," give a little extra information. For example, A. "I love hiking." You. "Me too. I went last weekend. It was so refreshing." Ah. "I hate traffic." You. "Right? It drives me crazy every morning." A. "I love coffee." You. "Same. I can't start my day without it." That one small detail turns a short reply into a real conversation. Americans love when you add something personal. It makes you sound more open and relatable. Now, let's focus again on tone. Tone changes depending on who you're talking to. At work, it's polite and steady. With friends, it's relaxed and playful. With strangers, it's kind and open. Let's practice one phrase with 3 tones. That's great. Polite tone, that's great. Excited tone, that's great. Sarcastic tone, that's great. See how the same words change completely depending on your tone? That's why your voice matters as much as your vocabulary. Here's a fun daily exercise for you. Pick one real-life situation: ordering coffee, chatting with a friend, or asking a coworker for help, and act it out in English. Speak out loud, even if you're alone. Use the phrases you've learned so far. The more you practice in realistic settings, the faster your English becomes automatic. And remember, confidence doesn't mean perfection. Even native speakers make mistakes all the time. The difference is, they keep going with a smile. If you make a small grammar mistake, don't stop or apologize too much. Just laugh, correct yourself if needed, and keep talking. Take a moment to breathe and appreciate how far you've come. You can now hold natural conversations in multiple settings, from a cafe to a workplace to friendly small talk. You're building real-world fluency step by step. In Part 6, we'll go deeper into the expressive side of English, how Americans use emotional phrases, reactions, and storytelling techniques to make their conversations sound colorful, alive, and memorable. Ready? Let's keep going in Part 6. Now that you can handle real-life conversations with confidence, let's take your English to a whole new level, the expressive side. In this part, we'll explore how Americans use emotion, reactions, and storytelling to make their speech sound colorful, natural, and full of life. You see, Americans don't just speak with words, they speak with feeling. Every tone, pause, and little sound adds energy and personality. If you want to sound fluent and confident, you don't need to memorize difficult vocabulary. You need to learn how to feel the language. Let's start with reactions. When something surprising happens, Americans don't just say, "Oh," they react with emotion. "No way. Are you serious? That's insane. You're kidding." When something good happens, they might say, "That's awesome. That's amazing. That's so cool." And when something sad happens, they'll say, "That's rough. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. That's tough." Let's practice those together. Your friend says, "I got promoted at work." You respond, "That's amazing." Your friend says, "I failed my exam." You respond, "Oh man, that's rough." Your friend says, "I saw a raccoon steal someone's sandwich." You respond, "No way, that's crazy." See how those short phrases instantly make your tone warm and human? That's the secret emotional connection. Now, let's look at how Americans tell stories. They don't just list facts. They use tone, rhythm, and emotion to paint a picture. They might say, "I was literally running to catch the bus," or "It was totally worth it." Notice words like literally, honestly, seriously, totally. These add emphasis and feeling, not grammar. They show emotion. Try them out. "I was totally shocked." "It was seriously the best day ever." "I literally couldn't stop laughing." These little emotional boosters make your English come alive. Now, let's talk about rhythm in storytelling. Americans love using short sentences and pauses for drama or effect. Instead of saying, "I was late, so I missed the bus, then I had to walk to work," they'll say, "I was late, missed the bus, had to walk, all the way to work." Those quick beats make it sound more real and engaging. Let's practice. "I woke up late, missed breakfast, spilled my coffee. Yeah, rough morning." Can you feel how much more natural that sounds? That's rhythm, the heartbeat of American English. Another common feature is exaggeration, not because Americans lie, but because they use strong expressions to show emotion or humor. For example, "I'm starving" means "I'm very hungry." "It's freezing" means "it's a little cold." "I've told you a million times" means I've told you many times. Try these. I'm starving. It's freezing in here. That was the best pizza ever. I'm dying of laughter. You don't have to be dramatic, just a little expressive goes a long way. It makes your English sound alive. Now, let's look at filler phrases, the small connectors that keep speech flowing while you think. Americans often say, you know, I mean, like, kind of. For example, it was like really funny. You know, I think we should go. I mean, it wasn't bad. They don't add meaning, but they make you sound natural and relaxed. Just remember, use them lightly, not in every sentence. Now let's practice storytelling tone. Americans change tone to match emotion. When they're excited, their voice rises. When they're serious, it slows and softens. Try this example. So I walk in and I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's staring at me. Hear the rhythm? The rise and fall of the voice adds music to the story. Let's try another. I finally got the job. Say it with joy. Now say, I really miss home. Softer, gentler tone. That difference in tone tells more than the words themselves. Now, let's talk about empathy phrases, short ways to connect emotionally during a story or reaction. You've probably heard expressions like, I get you. I feel you. I know, right? They don't mean agreement exactly, they mean understanding. For example, A, I've been working nonstop this week. B, I know, right? Same here. A, I miss my family. B, yeah, I feel you. Try them now. I get you. I feel you. I know, right? These small responses make you sound emotionally aware and connected. Now, let's build a small American-style story using everything we've learned: rhythm, emotion, and tone. So, I walk into this cafe, and the smell of coffee just hits me warm and sweet. The place is packed, people chatting everywhere. I grab my drink, sit by the window, and for a second, everything feels perfect. You know that feeling when the world just slows down? Yeah, that. Did you notice how sensory words like warm, sweet, packed, perfect make the story vivid? Americans use sensory language to bring listeners into the moment. Try this exercise. Think of your morning today and describe it like a short movie. I woke up, looked out the window, and saw sunlight spilling through the curtains. I made my coffee, took a sip, and just sat there for a minute, quiet, calm, ready for the day. That's storytelling, simple, emotional, and real. Now let's talk about laughter. Laughter is one of the most natural tools in American communication. People laugh not just because something is funny, but to show warmth or ease. A small laugh can make your tone friendly and relaxed. For example, I completely forgot my umbrella today. B, haha, me too. We're both going to get soaked. It's not forced, just a natural human reaction that shows connection. Here's another thing that gives your speech personality: expressions and metaphors. Americans love using creative phrases to express feelings. Here are a few you can use. I'm over the moon. I'm very happy. I'm on cloud 9. I'm thrilled. I'm beat. I'm tired. I'm down. I'm okay with it divided by I'll join. Try saying these. I'm over the moon about it. I'm beat, I need a nap. I'm down to hang out later. I'm on cloud 9 right now. These idioms make your English more expressive and fun. Now let's put it all together into a short, emotional scene. Friend, guess what? I passed my exam. You? No way. That's awesome. Friend, I studied all night. You? Seriously? You must be exhausted. Friend, yeah, but I'm over the moon right now. You? I get you. Totally worth it. That's a real American-style conversation full of emotion, rhythm, and connection. Before we end this part, I want you to remember something important. You don't need to copy every phrase. You just need to feel the rhythm of how Americans speak, the balance between words, emotion, and tone. When you relax, your English becomes more natural. When you add emotion, people listen longer. When you connect, you sound fluent even if your grammar isn't perfect. You've learned how to express emotion, tell engaging stories, use natural reactions, and connect through tone. You're already sounding more fluent and confident. In Part 7, we'll go deeper into mastering timing, listening, and natural flow, the invisible skills that make your conversations sound smooth and alive. Ready to keep growing your fluency? Let's continue in Part 7. Now that you can express emotion and tell stories naturally, it's time to master one of the most powerful but often invisible parts of fluent English: timing, listening, and flow. Fluent English isn't just about vocabulary or grammar. It's about rhythm, the pauses, the tone, the timing between sentences, the way you listen and respond. Native speakers sound smooth, not because they know every word, but because they know when to speak, when to pause, and how to react. Let's start with the first skill: timing. Americans don't rush their words. They let their sentences breathe. They pause naturally, like this. So, I was thinking maybe we could grab dinner later? Notice that little pause after so? That pause creates rhythm. Compare that to saying it all at once. I was thinking maybe we could grab dinner later. It feels rushed, right? Fluency isn't about speed, it's about smoothness. Let's practice timing together. Repeat these sentences slowly and naturally. So, what do you think? I mean, it's kind of tricky, right? Yeah, I get that. Anyway, let's see what happens. Those short pauses make your speech sound confident and natural. They give your listener time to follow your thoughts. Now, let's talk about the second key skill: listening. In American conversation, listening is active. You don't just stay silent, you show you're engaged with small words, short sounds, and body language, if you're face to face. Even in just your voice, you can express attention. Common short responses include, right, yeah, totally, exactly, I know, uh-huh. These little responses keep the energy of the conversation alive. They tell the other person, I'm here, I'm listening, I understand. Let's practice. Imagine a friend is telling a story. A. So, I got stuck in traffic for 2 hours yesterday. You. Oh wow, really? A. Yeah, it was terrible. I missed my meeting. You. That's rough. A. And when I finally got there, it started raining. You. No way. You see? Just a few words can make a huge difference. That's how native speakers create flow, not by talking more, but by listening better. Now let's move to the third skill, flow. Flow is how one idea moves into the next smoothly. Americans use connecting words like so, anyway, then, after that, and actually to keep conversations moving naturally. For example, I went to the gym and then I grabbed some lunch. After that, I just chilled at home. Without connectors, it would sound robotic. I went to the gym. I grabbed lunch. I stayed home. Let's practice flow together. Repeat these examples. I met a friend for coffee and then we went shopping. So yeah, that's how I ended up getting lost. Anyway, it all worked out in the end. Actually, I didn't know that before. Each of these sentences uses connectors that make your English sound natural and alive. Now, let's combine timing, listening, and flow in a real conversation example. A. Hey, how was your weekend? B. Pretty good, actually. I went hiking on Saturday and then, just relaxed on Sunday. A. Nice. Where'd you go hiking? B. Up near Mount Wilson. You know that trail with the waterfall? A. Oh yeah, I've been there. It's beautiful. B. Right? It was crowded though. Everyone had the same idea. A. Haha, yeah, that happens every weekend. That's fluent conversation, natural rhythm, emotional tone, smooth transitions, and active listening. Now, let's talk about intonation, one of the most important parts of American sound. Intonation is the rise and fall of your voice. It helps show meaning and emotion. When you're asking a yes divided by no question, your tone goes up. Are you coming? When you're making a statement, your tone goes down. Yeah, I'm coming. And when you're not sure or thinking, your tone rises a little in the middle. I mean, I guess so. Intonation shows confidence, emotion, and clarity. Try this with me. I can do it. Confident. I can do it. Unsure divided by question. I can do it. Hesitant. The meaning changes just with tone, not the words. That's the magic of spoken English. Now, let's move to overlapping talk. In American conversation, it's normal for people to slightly talk over each other, not to interrupt, but to show enthusiasm or agreement. For example, A. So I was telling my boss. B. Oh, I know, he's so strict sometimes. A. Right? Exactly. It's natural and energetic. So don't worry too much if someone speaks while you're talking. It's often a sign they're engaged, not rude. Now, let's practice repairing a conversation when you don't understand something or want someone to repeat. Americans use gentle phrases like, sorry, what was that? Could you say that again? Wait, you mean? Oh, I didn't catch that. These are polite and natural. Let's try them. Sorry, what was that? Could you repeat that for me? Oh, I didn't catch that. What did you say? They show you're paying attention, not that your English is weak. Now, here's something subtle but powerful echoing. When you repeat part of what someone just said, it shows interest and helps the conversation move forward. A. I'm thinking about moving to Seattle. B. Seattle? That's cool. Why there? A. I started a new project at work. B. A new project? What kind? This small trick makes you sound fluent and interactive. Now let's talk about silence. Many English learners fear silence, but in American culture, short pauses are perfectly normal. They give time to think and breathe. You don't need to fill every second with words. For example, that's a good point. Pause. I didn't think of it that way. See? That pause actually makes your answer sound thoughtful and mature. Silence isn't a problem, it's part of natural rhythm. Let's try something different now, a short fluency training exercise that combines timing, rhythm, and tone. Read this paragraph out loud slowly, feeling the pauses and emotion. So, yesterday was wild. I was running late, stuck in traffic, and then boom, I spilled my coffee all over my shirt. I mean, it wasn't the best start, but hey, I survived. Feel that? That's natural English rhythm. Not too fast, not too slow. Here's another one. I met this guy at the gym and we started talking about travel. Turns out he's been to 20 countries. Like seriously 20. I was impressed. Try to read it with small pauses after, and, turns out, and like. That's how real American storytelling sounds like a wave. Now, to strengthen your fluency, do this daily. Pick a short video or podcast with American speakers. Listen closely for rhythm, not just words. Pause after each sentence and repeat it aloud. Copy their timing, tone, and emotion. Even 5 minutes of shadowing every day will transform your English rhythm and listening skills. Remember, fluent speakers don't sound perfect. They sound real. They pause, say, laugh, and correct themselves. That's what makes conversation human. So, take a breath. You're not just learning English, you're learning the music of English. In Part 8, we'll dive into one of the most exciting aspects of fluency, American-style confidence and charisma, how to sound natural, charming, and clear in any social situation. Ready? Let's move forward to Part 8. You've come a long way. You can now hold natural conversations, use emotion, rhythm, and timing, and connect with people easily. But there's one more skill that makes American English sound truly powerful: confidence and charisma. Fluent speakers don't just speak clearly, they own their words. They sound comfortable, expressive, and authentic. In this part, you'll learn how to sound confident in any situation, whether you're talking to a stranger, giving your opinion, or telling a story. Let's start with what confidence really means in American communication. Confidence isn't about being loud, it's about being calm, clear, and steady. Americans often show confidence through tone, pace, and body language, not fancy words. Here's the first secret. Speak slower, not faster. Many learners think fluency means speed, but native speakers actually slow down when they want to sound sure of themselves. Listen to this difference. Fast. I think I know what you mean. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Confident. I think I know what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense. The second version sounds stronger, right? That's because confidence lives in clarity. Let's practice a few confident phrases together. Say them slowly and clearly. I know what I'm saying. I'm sure about that. That's a good question. I'm not sure yet, but I'll find out. Let's figure it out together. These sentences are simple, but they carry power. They sound balanced and composed. That's true fluency. Now let's look at how confident Americans start conversations. They often begin with warm, easy energy. You might hear, "Hey, how's your day going?" "Hi there, how have you been?" "Hey, nice to see you again." Notice the friendly tone, not robotic or stiff. Confidence in English is about being approachable. You can do this too. The key is to sound relaxed, like you're talking to a friend, not giving a speech. Try this small exercise. Imagine you meet someone new. "Hey, I'm your name. Nice to meet you." Simple, natural, confident. Then, ask an easy question to keep it going. "So, what brings you here?" Or, "Do you live around here?" Or, "Have you tried the food here yet?" Confidence grows from curiosity. Showing interest in others makes you magnetic. Now, let's talk about how Americans sound confident in their tone. When someone asks a question like, "Do you speak English?" an insecure answer might sound like, yeah, a little." But a confident one sounds like, "Yeah, I do. I've been practicing a lot." It's not about perfect grammar, it's about energy. Try both ways and feel the difference. Weak tone, "Maybe. I think so." Strong tone, "Yeah, I think so." See how just a small change in tone shifts everything? Now let's practice expressing opinions confidently. You can sound strong and polite at the same time. Try these. "I personally think that." "In my opinion." "I believe that." "If you ask me." "I see it a bit differently." "But that's interesting." Example: "In my opinion, it's better to practice a little every day instead of studying for hours once a week." That sounds balanced, confident, but not pushy. Now, another powerful habit in American conversation is positive language. Confident speakers focus on what can happen, not what can't. Instead of saying, "I can't do that," say, "I'll try my best." Instead of, "I don't know," say, "I'm not sure yet, but I'll find out." Instead of, "That's hard," say, "That's a challenge, but I can handle it." Positive words create positive energy, and people feel it instantly. Let's practice this transformation. "I can't speak fast English. I'm still learning to speak faster." "I'm bad at listening. I'm getting better at listening every day." "I don't understand. Could you explain that another way?" That's how confident speakers talk, focused on growth, not fear. Now let's explore charisma. Charisma is the ability to make people enjoy listening to you. It's a mix of energy, emotion, and connection. Americans often sound charismatic because they use variety, their tone goes up and down, they emphasize key words, and they smile when they speak. Let's practice saying one line in 3 ways. I really love learning English. Flat. I really love learning English. Boring. Natural. I really love learning English. Expressive. I really love learning English. The third one grabs attention because of tone and emotion. That's charisma. You can also use pauses to sound thoughtful. Try this. I think we all have days when we struggle. That short pause makes your speech sound confident and real. Now, here's another charismatic technique. Story energy. When Americans tell stories, they change rhythm. They speak faster during exciting parts, slower during emotional parts, and softer during reflective moments. Let's try a short example. So, I'm walking downtown, right? It's raining like crazy and suddenly, boom, my umbrella breaks in half. Everyone's staring and I'm just standing there like, okay, cool. Hear that rhythm? That's storytelling, charisma, dynamic, and full of energy. Let's try another. I'll never forget that moment. It was quiet, peaceful, like the world had stopped for a second. You see? Charisma isn't about fancy vocabulary, it's about rhythm and emotion. Now let's talk about confidence in mistakes. Native speakers make them all the time. The difference? They don't freeze. When you make a mistake, just smile and move on. You can even laugh and say, "Oops, I meant." For example, "I goed there yesterday." Oops, I went there. That small laugh shows confidence and ease. Here's a secret. When you stop fearing mistakes, your fluency doubles. Mistakes are part of learning, not proof of failure. Now, let's put everything together in a real-life example. A. So, what do you do? You. I'm learning English, actually. I've been practicing for a few months. A. Oh, that's great. Why did you start? You. Well, I love American culture. Plus, I want to sound more natural when I travel. A. You sound really good already. You. Thanks. I still make mistakes, but I'm getting better every day. That's confidence, calm, friendly, and real. Here's a short daily exercise for building your English confidence. Stand in front of a mirror. Say one positive sentence about yourself in English. For example, I'm improving every day. Smile and repeat it 5 times. Then, record yourself speaking for 1 minute on any topic. Listen back not to judge, but to notice your rhythm and tone. Every day you'll sound more relaxed, expressive, and sure of yourself. And remember, fluency is not about sounding American. It's about sounding authentic. The goal is not to imitate, it's to express yourself clearly and confidently in English. You now understand the heart of American-style charisma, how to project confidence through tone, rhythm, and energy. In Part 9, we'll dive into another real-world skill, connecting deeply with people in English. You'll learn how Americans build friendships, express emotions, and communicate warmth through everyday language. Ready to take that next step? Let's move on to Part 9. You've built an amazing foundation so far: natural pronunciation, smooth rhythm, emotional tone, and confident energy. Now, it's time to go deeper into what truly makes conversation meaningful: connection. Fluency isn't just about speaking clearly. It's about connecting with people through warmth, understanding, and genuine emotion. In this part, you'll learn how Americans use language to build friendship, express care, and make others feel seen and understood. Let's start with something simple but powerful: emotional openness. In many cultures, people keep feelings private. But in American communication, sharing small bits of emotion is normal, even healthy. It helps people bond faster. For example, "I've had such a long day. I'm so happy it's finally Friday. I've been a little stressed lately. I really needed that laugh." When you share how you feel, even in small ways, People respond to your honesty. It creates trust. Let's practice short emotional expressions. Repeat after me. I'm really glad to see you. I've missed talking with you. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that. I needed that. See how simple they are? But each one opens the door to real connection. Now let's talk about kindness and encouragement. Americans often encourage others with small phrases like, "You got this." "You'll be fine." "Don't worry, it'll work out." "You're doing great." These words sound simple, but they carry warmth and positivity. They make people feel supported. Let's try a short example. A. I'm nervous about my presentation. B. Hey, you'll do great. Just be yourself. A. Thanks. I really needed that. B. No problem, you got this. See how that small exchange builds connection instantly? Now, let's explore another part of connection: empathy. Empathy means showing that you understand what someone is feeling. Americans use short, natural phrases to show empathy, like, "I get that." "I know what you mean." "I've been there." "That sounds tough." "Yeah, that's hard." Let's practice them in real situations. A. I've been so tired lately. You. I get that. Same here. A. My project is taking forever. You. Yeah, that sounds tough. A. I miss my family. You. I know what you mean. These small phrases make conversations feel human. You don't need deep words, just presence and understanding. Now, let's talk about compliments and appreciation. In American culture, expressing gratitude is a big part of connection. People often say, "Thank you," for even small things. But the secret to making your appreciation sound sincere is to be specific. Instead of just "thanks," say, "Thanks for taking the time to help." "Thanks, that was really thoughtful." "Thanks, I appreciate your effort." "Thanks for listening, that means a lot." Let's practice this flow. A. Here, I brought you a coffee. You. Thanks, that's really kind of you. A. No problem. You. Seriously, I appreciate it. Short, genuine, warm, that's the American way. Now, let's go deeper into how Americans show interest in others. When someone shares a story, Americans often respond with follow-up questions that show care, not just curiosity. For example, A. I went on vacation last week. B. Oh, nice. Where'd you go? Hawaii. B. That sounds amazing. How was it? Or A. I've been learning guitar. B. Really? How long have you been playing? These follow-up questions show that you care, not just that you heard. Let's practice a few more. A. I started a new job. You. That's awesome. How's it going so far? A. I'm thinking of moving soon. You. Oh wow, where to? A. My dog was sick last week. You. Oh no. Is he okay now? Each response keeps the connection alive, natural, simple, kind. Now, sometimes conversations get emotional. Maybe someone is sad or frustrated. In those moments, Americans often use comforting phrases to show empathy without judgment. Try these. I'm really sorry to hear that. That must have been hard. I can't imagine how that felt. Take your time. I'm here for you. Let's imagine a short scene. A. My trip got canceled at the last minute. You. Oh no, I'm so sorry. That must have been disappointing. A. Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. You. I get that. Hopefully, you can reschedule soon. That's how Americans express care, with short, sincere phrases that comfort and connect. Now let's talk about shared experiences. When you want to connect with someone, one of the best ways is to find something you both have in common. Example: A. I can't live without coffee. B. Same. I literally need it to function. A. I stayed up way too late watching shows. B. Haha, me too. What were you watching? A. I love traveling. B. Me too. Where's your favorite place so far? Those small connections make big friendships. Americans build relationships by finding shared experiences and laughing about them. Now, let's explore humor and playfulness. Humor in American culture is often light and friendly, not too serious. It helps people feel comfortable. For example, A. I spilled coffee on my shirt again. B. You're just starting a new fashion trend. Or, Ah, I can't believe it's Monday already. B. Mondays should be illegal. That kind of humor breaks tension and creates warmth. You don't have to be a comedian, just relaxed and playful. Here's a good rule. If you can smile, you can connect. Now, let's talk about deep listening. In American English, good listeners don't just hear, they respond to feelings. If someone says, I'm tired, you don't just reply, okay. You say, yeah, you've been working hard. If someone says, I'm excited for my trip, you say, that sounds amazing. You must be so ready. You reflect their emotion back. That's empathy in action. Let's try a few examples. A. I finally finished my project. You. That must feel great. A. I can't stop thinking about my test tomorrow. You. Yeah. Totally understandable. You've been studying so much. A. I'm really missing my hometown. You. I get that. It's hard being away from home. This simple technique builds emotional connection instantly. Before we wrap up this part, let's talk about being genuine. Real connection doesn't come from perfect English, it comes from honest emotion. You don't have to say something deep, you just have to mean what you say. Say what you truly feel. If something makes you happy, show it. If you appreciate someone, tell them. That's how English becomes more than words, it becomes connection. Here's a quick connection practice. Think of someone you appreciate, a teacher, friend, or coworker. Say a short English sentence expressing gratitude. For example, thanks for always supporting me. I really appreciate your help. You've been so kind to me. Small moments like that change relationships, and they make your English feel alive. You've now learned how Americans build emotional connections through empathy, kindness, humor, and appreciation. You're not just speaking English, you're living it. In Part 10, we'll bring everything together. You'll learn how to sound complete, natural, and inspiring in your everyday English, how to turn everything you've learned into your own authentic voice. Let's finish strong in part 10. You've made it all the way here, and that's something to be proud of. You've built a deep understanding of how Americans speak, react, connect, and express themselves. Now, in this final part, we'll bring everything together to help you sound complete, natural, and confident, not just as an English learner, but as a real communicator in any situation. By now, you've learned that fluency isn't only about knowing words or grammar. It's about rhythm, tone, connection, and authenticity. You've discovered how Americans use simple language, warmth, and emotion to create real conversations. Now it's time to turn all of that into your own voice. Let's start with the foundation, your rhythm. English, especially American English, flows like music. Every sentence has a beat. Some words are strong, others are soft. Listen to this example. I really like this song. The word really gets a little more energy. It's the rhythm that makes it sound alive. Try it with me. I really like this song. I honestly needed that break. It was actually really good. When you emphasize the key word, your voice sounds expressive like a melody. You don't need to force emotion. Just let your voice move naturally. Now, let's review one of the most important lessons: simplicity. Native speakers don't use complicated words all the time. They use short, clear phrases that feel human. For example, instead of, "I am exhausted due to my professional workload," say, "I'm so tired from work." Instead of, "It was an extraordinary experience," say, "It was amazing." Simplicity isn't weakness, it's strength. It makes your English sound confident, clean, and easy to follow. Next, let's talk about being present when you speak. Fluent conversation happens in the moment. Don't worry about what you just said or what you'll say next. Listen, respond, and let the words come naturally. Here's a small practice to help you. Take a deep breath before speaking. Look, or imagine looking, at the person you're talking to. Focus on their words, not your grammar. Respond with your heart first, then your mind. That's real communication, not memorization, but connection. Now, let's bring back one of the most powerful tools you've learned: tone. Tone carries emotion and intention. You can change the meaning of a sentence just by changing your tone. Try saying, "That's nice," 3 different ways. Warm, "That's nice." Friendly and sincere. Neutral, "That's nice." Polite, but flat. Sarcastic, "That's nice." Clearly not nice. Tone is what makes English feel alive. You don't need to sound perfect. You just need to sound real. Now, let's go over a few final keys to natural conversation. React, don't recite. When you talk, respond naturally to the moment. Don't try to repeat textbook phrases. If someone says, "That's awesome," you can say, "Right? I loved it." Or, "Yeah, it was crazy." Keep it flowing. Use short fillers wisely. Words like, "you know," "I mean," "like," and "actually" make your speech sound more native, but only when used lightly. "I mean, it was kind of unexpected." You know, that happens sometimes. Like, "It was so funny." Don't fear silence. Small pauses are natural. They make your speech sound thoughtful and calm. Silence isn't a mistake, it's part of communication. Smile when you speak. It might sound strange, but smiling changes your tone instantly. It makes your voice warmer, your rhythm smoother, and your energy friendlier. End with connection. When finishing a conversation, Americans often close with a friendly tone. Anyway, great talking with you. It was nice seeing you. Let's catch up soon. Have a good one. These little goodbyes make you sound natural and polite. Now, let's combine everything you've learned into one natural conversation. A. Hey, how's everything going? B. Pretty good. Just busy as always, you? A. Same here. Work's been crazy this week. B. Tell me about it. I've been running nonstop. A. You know what I miss? Just relaxing on weekends. B. Right? I need one of those quiet Sundays again. A. Totally. Anyway, let's grab coffee sometime soon. B. Yeah, that sounds great. Text me when you're free. Did you notice how that sounded? Smooth, casual, warm, not formal, not stiff. That's what real English fluency feels like. Now let's move beyond the conversation to your mindset. You've learned techniques, phrases, and rhythm. But the most important thing is your confidence. You might not realize it yet, but you already sound better than most people think when they start learning. Fluency isn't something you reach, it's something you grow into. Every time you speak, you get closer. Every sentence you say in English is progress. Here's a daily mantra you can repeat to keep yourself motivated. I speak clearly. I learn faster every day. I'm confident when I speak English. My voice matters. Say those sentences aloud every morning. Let them become part of how you see yourself. And here's something that Americans do naturally that you can start doing today: celebrate progress. When you improve, even a little, acknowledge it. Say, I did great today. I spoke with confidence. I understood more than yesterday. Progress grows fastest when you appreciate it. Now, before we close this final part, let's imagine one more moment you're speaking English in real life, maybe at a cafe, a meeting, or with a friend. You're not worried about your grammar. You're smiling. You're listening. You're relaxed. The words flow out naturally. The person in front of you understands you completely, not just your words, but your energy. That's fluency. That's connection. That's confidence. You did it. You've completed the journey through this English conversation guide. You've learned the rhythm, tone, flow, and heart of American English. Now it's time to use it in your daily life, with real people, in real conversations. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep growing. Because every time you open your mouth to speak English, you're not just learning a language, you're sharing yourself. And that is the most powerful skill of all. Congratulations, you're ready. Go out there and speak English with confidence, heart, and joy. Thank you so much for spending this time learning with me. Keep practicing every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Your effort will bring big results over time. And most importantly, enjoy the journey. You are not just learning English, you are becoming an English speaker. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss future lessons. I'll see you in the next practice. Keep believing in yourself and keep speaking with confidence.